NATO leaders meeting in Lisbon agree to develop a missile defense system. The announcement comes after years of opposition from member nation Turkey, not to mention Russia. It came before the Russian delegation arrived at the summit. I'm Shihab Rattansi. This is the Hour of News, live from Washington, D.C. Also ahead in the next 60 minutes.
This is a search and rescue operation. We're going to bring these guys home.
A long wait. 29 miners remain trapped in a New Zealand mine amid fears that a build-up of gas could trigger a second explosion.
I'm Kath Turner in Haiti. The head of the United Nations stabilisation mission here has told Al Jazeera neither cholera nor violence will stop the elections going ahead on the 28th of November.
Plus, political instability in Madagascar. The transitional government tries to quash a mutiny. The first 2 days of NATO discussions has ended in Portugal, and the 28-member group has agreed to a new missile defense system in Europe, despite years of opposition from Turkey and Russia. I need to make note. There's more on the NATO summit and the missile defense plan on our website, the address aljazeera.net/English. And there's still more to come in this hour of news, including responding to critics. We'll hear from the head of the UN's peacekeeping mission in Haiti about the cholera outbreak, the upcoming elections, and the UN's image. And protecting the press, a group of young nationalists in Russia offers its bodyguard services to journalists. Plus,
big, bold and playing their part to combat climate change. I'm Tarek Basley in South India. Find out why these tanks are appearing in the backyards of tens of thousands of homes.
But first, though, a new report shows that many Afghans remain hostile towards the NATO mission in Afghanistan. The study by the International Council on Security and Development suggests that 92% of respondents are unaware of the attacks on New York and the Pentagon on the 11th of September 2001. 40% think NATO is there to destroy Islam or to occupy Afghanistan. 61% of respondents think Afghan security forces will not be able to protect them once international forces leave the country.
He said that the United Nations welcomes any kind of investigation to find the source of the cholera outbreak, and that the UN is cooperating and talking to a number of specialists and different health groups to try and understand where the infection came from and when it came to the country.
Welcome back. You're watching Al Jazeera's Hour of News, live from Washington. If you were watching a few minutes ago, our apologies. We had a particularly exotic and rare sort of technical failure that, amongst other things, meant I didn't even know I was on air. So that was a close call. Let's bring you up to date now with the headlines as we move on. Deaths from cholera in Haiti are nearing 1,200 and more than 19,000 people have been hospitalized. Some aid agencies contend recent protests against the UN have hampered efforts to fight the disease. The Médecins Sans Frontières says it's NGOs who aren't committing to fighting cholera and helping those who are in need. Meanwhile, the head of the UN Stabilization Force defended the organization's performance in an interview with Al Jazeera. 29 miners remain trapped underground in New Zealand following a large gas explosion. Authorities are still conducting tests to determine whether it's safe to send rescuers in. There are fears a buildup of gas could trigger a second explosion. And the first day of the NATO summit has wrapped up in Lisbon. Member states have agreed to build a new missile defense system over Europe, a plan proposed by the US. Few details are on offer, but it will cost member states $280 million to link existing anti-missile systems to the US system. In addition to the defense shield, NATO's chief called on the US to ratify the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. It's meant to reduce the number of nuclear weapons that both the United States and Russia have stockpiled. The first START treaty was signed by the two countries in July of 1991. It reduced nuclear warheads the number of nuclear warheads from approximately 10,000 for each side to no more than 6,000 warheads apiece. In April, US President Barack Obama and Russian President Dmitry Medvedev signed the new START treaty. It limits both sides to no more than 1,550 deployed strategic warheads. But the US Senate still needs to ratify the treaty. President Obama has called it a, quote, national security imperative, but he's facing resistance from opposition Republicans. In India, one company is hoping to harness the power of domestic waste, which releases large volumes of greenhouse gases as it breaks down. Time for a short break. When we return, football fallout. The head of FIFA says he's satisfied with the result of an investigation into the World Cup bribery scandal. Welcome back. Let's run through the top stories from our Washington News Center. During the first day of the NATO summit, member states agreed to build a new missile defense system over Europe, a plan proposed by the United States. NATO's chief also called on the US and Russia to ratify the new START arms reduction treaty. Cholera deaths in Haiti are approaching 1,200 and more than 19,000 people have been hospitalized. In an interview with Al Jazeera, the head of the UN peacekeeping mission said it was, quote, unfair to accuse UN soldiers of bringing cholera to Haiti. The UN and some NGOs say the recent unrest has hampered its efforts to bring relief from cholera. Italian Premier Silvio Berlusconi has shocked art critics, apparently, by adding missing body parts to ancient statues in his office. Italy's culture ministry says there's no need to worry, though. The extra body parts are attached by magnets and can be removed without damage. For decades, there's been a consensus amongst restorers that the missing parts of ancient statues shouldn't be recreated. That's all for this hour of news. Remember, our website for news 24 hours a day, aljazeera.net/English.